Hi, morning, welcome back. New build day, and we're really excited because, well, I'm really excited. We've got our first pack from Agora Models of the Routemaster, and I know those of you who aren't familiar with what a Routemaster is, I do have the poster they send us. It is the London bus. It is the double-decker bus, and this is a gorgeous thing. This is based on how it would have appeared in 1966, and it's gorgeous. Those of you who've been following the channel and seen the other builds that I do with the kids know that typically what we do are movie things or sort of sci-fi orientated stuff. So we've been doing Ecto 1 from Eagle Moss, beautiful thing, but again that's ground to a halt at the moment thanks to all the global shipping issues. We're doing R2-D2, we're doing Iron Man, and we've dabbled with a few other bits and pieces. We're kind of doing the Fast and the Furious, but we're not subscribed to it. And we had a bit of a go at the Eddie Stobart, but we're bailing out on that one. But I wanted to build something British. That was my thing. I wanted to do something that was just quintessentially British, and I think it's got to come down to a London cab and a double-decker bus. So when we saw that Agora were doing this one, all over it. Now this has ran before, so there are a lot of people out there that have built it, and to those people, thank you to all of you, because they've blazed the trail. So they've had some very good suggestions for mods and little things that we can do and things to look out for, and they've been a wealth of information. And this is part of the beauty of this. I got into doing this during lockdown, so I'm relatively a rookie at this. I've only been doing this for 2 years ish. So they really have been a wealth of help. If subsequently as well, shout out to World of Wayne, who honestly was just kept us all sane during lockdown. It was fantastic. And speaking of the Eddie Stobart, if you're planning on doing the Eddie Stobart build, there is a YouTube channel called Jay's channel. He's building it. I think he's done the first 4 or 5 parts. Check him out. It's well worth looking at, and you can watch the entire build up, and he does it every week. Good guy. Great builds, good videos. Check him out. He's good. And also Chris Collection. I watch a guy called Chris Collection. Can't understand a word. He's French, but with Powerworks, you can see what they are, and again, he's blazing the trail, so he's way ahead on Iron Man than we are. He's at like I think 90 of Iron Man, whereas we're at like 40. So it's nice seeing the people that have gone before us. But no, thank you to those. But that's part of the beauty of the Powerworks. The community itself is really nice, and with the exception of 1 or 2 dicks, everyone else I've encountered has been really nice. And the bus community is huge. The people that have already built this have been a wealth of information. Rather than just go, well, I'm done, they've all been very helpful, incredibly helpful, and it's a nice thing to see. It really is. The difference between this one and the ones we've been doing before is we'll be getting them monthly, so we typically receive 4 parts, whereas with Agora it's a 1-year build, so we're receiving 10 parts every month. So this thing is going to fly up. It really is. The people that built this the first time, it took them 3 years. We will be done by September of next year. This will be complete. This will be finished, which is rapid for these. So we'll have finished this before we finish Iron Man and before we finish R2-D2, which is nuts because we've been doing those for practically a year. But this thing's going to fly up, and I can see that by what they've sent us today. So we got 2 boxes today, absolutely full of stuff. And I can't wait. This is going to be a beautiful thing. Now, the kids don't really have much interest in this one, which is why they're not with me, because if it's not in a movie or a video game or a cartoon series, they ain't really interested. But this is for me. This is something I wanted to do. I just think this is an absolute classic, and I'm looking forward to modding it. And the beauty of this as well is it's 1/12 scale, which is dollhouse scale. So the classic dollhouse scale is 1/12. As a result of that, it means that we can buy little things, newspapers, Coke bottles, cigarette packs, things like that, umbrellas, that you can put on the bus. So modding this thing and making little tweaks and enhances is a lot easier than what it is with, say, Ecto, which is 1/8 scale. Nothing is 1/8 scale. Trying to find, figures of the Ghostbusters in 1/8. They don't exist. So everything's either too small or too big. So it is what it is, but this is perfect for that. So we're going to be doing some bits and pieces to it. I'm not blown away by the advertising on the side of this. We've already been speaking to a guy on Facebook that makes advertising posters, banners for the bus in the scale, so we will be using those because I kind of want to put films of the era on there, and I know he does Dr. No. So to have the kind of original Dr. No poster on the side of the bus, it's pretty sweet. Jack, I'm sure at some point is more into these builds than Oscar is. Jack is going to be visiting at some point because he has been working on his Blakey from On the Bus's impression. And you'll see it at some point. But we're going to build it today. We're going to go through, there's a lot to do. So rather than me film the whole thing, I'm going to go through each pack and show you what we've built after each pack. And then we'll do a wrap up at the end. But I'm grinning like a goon because I've been looking forward to doing this one for so long. So we're going to crack on with it, and we'll show you how we get on at the end. And if I come across any problems, which I'm sure I will, I'll let you know how I resolve them. So this is what you receive in pack 1. You get 2 boxes in pack 1, and these things are loaded, man. I mean, there is so much stuff in here, it's ridiculous. These are parts of the axle. There's just loads, man. Over here we've got our first 2 wheels. We've got our first piece of the flooring and the stairs. More stairs. There we go. There's our grill looking lovely, and it's a gorgeous red, man. And this is what I wanted to make it. It's a British classic. Typically everything we're making is American, but I wanted to do something. I wanted to do something pure British, you know. And next to a London cab, I don't think it gets more British than the double-decker bus, man. I don't. Beautiful thing. So here is pack 1, and it is it's pretty. You can see this classic red. Now this is metal. This is metal. This is metal. This is metal. This piece is plastic, but that's a lot of metal. I mean, for one of these kits, that's even that's metal as well. It's either metal or it's freezing cold, but it's a beautiful thing. So we're going to put this together. We'll have something a bit more impressive to show you in a few minutes' time. And as if by magic, there we are. So we have our first parts complete. It is gorgeous, and it's gone together very easily. Love this red. You've got the hinge attached over here to the bonnet, and that's it. So we're going to crack on pack 2, and I'll catch up with you in a bit and see how we did. And here is pack 2. So we will be doing some headlights, some wheel arch, some bonnet decals, and yeah, going to get on with it, see how we get on. And here we have pack 2 complete, and what's remarkable is we already have a fairly massive lump of bus. The detail is gorgeous. Get the headlights in. Happy with that. On to pack 3. So here is pack 3, and we are shifting focus away from the frame of the bus. We are building the staircase. States the upper deck. Now here we have pack 3 complete. It's made very nice. Beginning of the staircase. There's a lot missing. There's going to be kickers, metal kickers that go along here. Naturally, there's a lot more to this, but yeah, pack 3, simple enough. Went together quite easily. A lot of screws, but yeah, looking nice. And here we are with pack 4. So this is the floor. This will be, when you get on the bus, this will be the point of entry to the bus. We've got the kickers for the stairs. So this really is flying up now, so it'll be interesting to see where we are after this. And here is pack 4. It's our first piece of platform there. The kickers are all fitted. Looking quite lovely. I'm not delirious about these screw heads, they look too big. So I'm going to be removing those, and I'm going to put something else in that looks a bit more like rivets, a bit more to scale. They look a bit mental. But it's looking rather lovely. And that is pretty much all we're going to be doing for sort of frame and fascia and inside of bus, because now we are moving on to axles. In stage 5 we're going to start making axles, and that's pretty much what we're going to be doing for the next 2 months. We're going to be building a rolling chassis for all this to stick to. And again, like I said, normally in part works they do these pretty things to lure you in. So you've got nice big chunks of bus then they switch to the kind of, it depends which way you've, I actually found the most interesting part of the build, building the engine and the chassis and the brakes, and that's for me the most fun part, but for a lot of people it isn't. So that's why I don't really lure you with those ones, but I think it's looking really rather lovely. I really do, and I can see how it's going to come together rapidly. So this is part 5. This is the suspension arm that we're building. They give you a second screwdriver in this one, which is a much larger head. I don't use these screwdrivers. I mean, I don't not use them, but I've got wearers. That's what I use. But it's nice to have them. So again, if you are building one of these, they will send you all the kit to build it. So that is the suspension arm. Looking really rather lovely. I mean, this is all metal. It's heavy. Gorgeous thing. Gonna fit some shock absorbers and some springs next. So this is pack 6. You can see we've got quite a lot going on in this one, and all of this is going to be added to the suspension arm, which is just over there. There we have part 6 complete. You can see we fit the shock absorbers, suspension springs. It's heavy. It's looking nice. And now on to 7. And here is pack 7. We've got the first brake disc. I didn't show you the pack before I put it on, but yeah, very detailed, incredibly detailed brake disc. I mean, I've done brake discs in cars, model cars before, but this one is incredibly detailed. It really is. Lovely thing. Now we're going to move on to pack 8. We're building the first wheel. Here is pack 8, our first wheel. Now, this is supposed to fit in there. It's not going to. It will, but this is solid rubber, so it ain't going in there. There's barely any give in this. So we have one or two methods. We can use the hairdryer method, where we warm this thing up and then pop that in, or we can use the hot water method. The hot water method is this is going to go into a bowl of hot water until it softens up, and then we're going to put this into there. That's the method I'm going to use. I tend to find with the hairdryer method, you get a bit of warping, and I'm going to use the hot water method. And there we have stage 8 complete. That is the wheel fully made. Hubcap on. I've got a feeling they're going to ask us to take that wheel back off. That's going to be annoying. Attached to the suspension arm. Now we're going to fit the opposite brake disc, and then after that, stage 10 will be the final wheel, and we'll be done. Alright, so pack 9 is complete. Again, we've got the opposing brake disc here. And these are ridiculously detailed brake discs. They're kind of lovely. I like these a lot. So yeah, it's coming together ridiculously fast. And I got to be honest, I'm glad they've got this out of the way, because the one thing I don't enjoy on Partworks is suspension. Any kind of suspension drives me nuts. Because if you've ever built one of these, getting these to hold is not the easiest thing in the world, because you're trying to hold this together, press it down to lock it in place, because that spring is designed obviously to support a lot of weight, so it's strong, so it's not great. And I'm ashamed to say, I lost a screw head. I've never took the head off a screw before in one of these builds, but it happened in this one. Luckily, I've been kind of waiting for it and dreading it, and it wasn't so bad. I was able to fix that. But that's the first time I've ever lost a screw head off something, so that's I hope that's not a bad omen. But it's coming together rather lovely. Now all we've got to do is a repeat of stage 8, and we will have pack 1 fully complete with a fully complete suspension arm. So we're going to crack on with that. We've got to use the water method again and warm this wheel up. Okay, and that's it. That's pack 10 done. So now we have our completed suspension arm, and it looks gorgeous. And again, I mean, being used to the way I normally build these monthly, with monthly subs, you don't see this in one kind of hit. You typically, it would take 2 months to build that, and I've been able to do it on, day 1, which is a gorgeous thing, because you get, this part will be pack 1, this part will be pack 2, this part will be pack 3, one wheel will be pack 4. You have to wait a month to get the rest of it. So this thing is flying up. It really is. You can see by what else we have done already. So we have the beginning of the staircase. Obviously there's going to be more steps going up here. I believe, I'm sure someone's going to call me out and tell me I'm wrong, but I believe that somewhere around here, it's either under there Or there may be something that comes off here. It's somewhere the electrics for the bus go around here somewhere. I'm sure they do. I might be wrong, but I'm fairly sure there's a panel or something here that's where they go. Then we have the front of the bus there, looking rather lovely. And we have the bonnet, which will go on there. And then there is, I don't think I showed you this, on the side of the bonnet there is what I believe is an access hatch, which again is hinged. We put the brace inside there. It's a beautiful thing, it really is. Now there'll be no shiny red next month in December, because we are working on the rolling chassis, so we'll have a lot more base, because without that you've got no bus. So we will be building the chassis frame that this is going to sit on, and that's going to be all of December's pack, is all going to be frame. And then I believe the next one, which would be January, they might come sooner than this because there was a delay on this. We were supposed to get this in October and we received it first week of November, so you never know, we might have it at the end of Christmas. But certainly in the first three, the next two, what we're doing is the rolling chassis. But it's only two. Once either December or January's pack is out of the way, we will have a full rolling chassis, and then we just start moving on to the parts of the bus. I believe once the chassis is done, we're building the driver's cab, which is going to sit inside here. So I think this is kind of made, this part is almost made independently from the rest of it, and then it all sort of bolts together. But it is looking rather lovely, and I am very impressed by it. This I've got to look at, because again, I don't like these screw heads. I hate this. That doesn't look right. It looks completely out of scale, because if this was in actual scale, those screw heads would be, you know, the size of a tangerine, and that's just not, that's not accurate. So I don't like that. I don't know about this. Now in my head I want to modify this so it looks like wood, but in 1966 I don't know if the base of this bus was wood or if it had some kind of that kind of tan lino stuff that I remember being on a lot of buses. That sort of hard, I don't know what it was, whether it was like a paint that they painted on there or if it was a lino or what, but I'm not convinced this was wood. So I don't want to turn it into wood if it wasn't, if that makes sense. I need to do a bit of research and find out exactly what the floor of those buses look like. If this was a paint, a lino, or if it was a wood that had been stained. And whatever it is, I'm going to aim to get it as close to that as possible. But I like it as it is, to be honest with you. It's quite nice stock. But those, no, those have got to go. That I don't like. So I will be sorting that out. But we'll do a wrap up, and that's it. That's pack one complete. Very happy with that indeed. So that is, let's just take the woolen repellers off. That is pretty much it for the month. That's pack one done. Very happy with it. I really like it. Minor concerns. Like I said, I lost a screw head, and that's never done that. That's kind of a deadly sin of part working. I've fortunately never taken a screw head off, but I did this time, and I've been dreading it. But you know what? To fix it, it wasn't so bad. It was fairly easy to do. I'm really tired. It's very early Sunday morning here, but I wanted to get this done. So, so that's the way it is. I'm not shaved yet. But I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed that, and I can't recommend it enough. If you've thought about getting into one of these, I don't know if this would be too much for a first one, because you're going to get overwhelmed with the amount of stuff that's going to turn up. Because it like I said, the normal ones will ease you in, so you can trial them all for about a £5. Whereas this one's a lot more, because you get a lot more in one hit, and it's a 12-month build. You can spread this out over 2 years if you want to. I wouldn't, but I mean you can. If that's more affordable to spread out over 2 years, by any means necessary, man. You know, that's still quick. I mean, 2 years is still quick compared to the first run of this. The first run of this was, I think, that I don't know, someone's probably going to be able to be more accurate than me that did it, but I think it was about 3 years, and I believe just as they were getting to the end of their builds, the pandemic kicked in, and I think that held them up for quite a while as well. We're experiencing that now for the first time, as I mentioned, with Ecto, and there's been a lot of backlash towards Eagle Moss, who released the Ecto one. I don't think that's particularly fair, because to their credit, we didn't miss a single shipment during the lockdown. We didn't. So during the first lockdown of 2020, everything turned up on time. It just did. I mean, I think there was one delay of about 2 weeks, and that was postal. It wasn't Eagle Moss's fault. But now they've been hit with the shipping delays, so we've come to a grinding halt. We're at like I want to say we're at part 110, I think, something like that, of 130 of 141 parts. We're very close to the end of Ecto, but it's just stopped dead, and there's no real notice of when it's going to start again. I'm not holding my breath that it's going to be anytime soon. I guarantee it'll finish, but realistically, I'm not expecting to see any Ecto parts until, I don't know, February, March. Realistically, I'm just not. I mean, because then you throw the shipping delays you've already got, and then throw in Christmas as well. I'm not, you know. But it's not their fault. It really isn't. And I'm 2 years into that build now, so I'm not about to stop now. So it is what it is. It's just the way it is. But I mean, a lot of people are throwing their toys at the pram about it. And I understand that. You want your model. But yeah, it is the way it is. But this one's gorgeous. This one turned up, and they do, as well as this one, they have got the FDMY truck, the fire truck. It's gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. Massive as well, but not for me. As I said, I wanted to do something quintessentially British, and this is it. And what I'm going to be looking to do is I want to make this seasonal. So I know I can get the as part of the sub, I can get I'll have access to the figurines that go on it, and they're of the 60s. So there's kind of like a swinging 60s girl in like the, you know, mini dress and things like that, and there's beatnik characters, and there's, you know, the traditional British businessman with the bowler hat, and very 1960s, and all the posters are 1960s. That's fine. I'm looking to get 1970s, 1980s definitely, characters, 1990s. And I also want seasonal. So for Halloween, I want 1/12 scale skeletons and things like that sat on the bus. And I want the posters on the side to reflect the time of the year. That's what I want to do. So I want an 80s one, or I want 80s posters on the side of the bus. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to magnetize the posters rather than have a sticker that sticks on. I'm going to attach those stickers to magnetic backing, so they will stick to the bus, and I can take them off and swap them out as and when I want to. That's what I'm going to do to this. But I also then want Christmas. So at Christmas, I kind of want 1/12 scale Christmas characters. So I'm got a good sort of community around me of modders and things like that. It's out of my level. I don't make those little figurines, but if I could get, I mean, the idea is, you know, I'm kind of a film buff. If I could get John McClane and Clark Griswold and Kevin McAllister and the Wet Bandits sat on the bus for Christmas, that's what I want. So that's what I'm going to do. It's going to be a seasonal thing, and I plan to change it with the seasons, because I don't just want to put it in a case and forget about it. I want it to actively be a seasonal decoration, and that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to switch it up as often as I can to keep it fresh. So it will be the 1960s as standard, but I want to be able to 80s the bus. I want to be able to do whatever I want to do to it and make it, you know, Halloween decoration, or make it a Christmas decoration. And that's what I want to do, and that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to get Christmas lights for it, and little pumpkin lights and things like that, and that's the plan, because it is a beautiful thing. It's gorgeous, and it's thing that, because it's a classic, I think my wife might let me keep it downstairs rather than in the man cave. Now, in all fairness, my man cave is kind of gorgeous. I've got everything I want in here, and we do have space to put it. But again, I just like this bus. It's not like having something as nerdy as, you know, I've got a DeLorean in my front room as an ornament, as a statue, as a model. It's just a British classic. It really is. And that's what I love. So we look forward to it. Next month, we as I said, we're building the chassis. And I love doing the chassis, man. So that'll be good to do. I think the month after that, we build the engine, put the exhaust and things like that, and I think we then start the driver's cab. And then after that, it's literally just bus. So it's rather than being chassis and things like that, after that point, we are just building the insides of the bus and all the framework. It's different with the smaller cars. With the movie cars, you work on the chassis and the engine and all those components for a long time, because there's not really much to it. I mean, once the chassis goes on, it's done. You've got a cabin, whereas with the bus, there's that many seats inside of it, and the internal framework and the back of the bus hangs over the chassis, if that makes sense. I don't think I'm explaining that right, but I know what I mean. Plus 2 decks, so there's a lot more body to build to this. So the chassis is kind of a much smaller part of this build than the actual framework of it. So looking forward to it, man. And it's weird to think this is going to be the first one finished at this rate, because if Ecto doesn't speed up, Ecto should be finished in May if it stayed on track. But now already Ecto is now June. Next month Ecto will be July. So there's a strong chance that the last one we started, which was this one, will be the first one that's finished. It's weird, but that might be how it works out. But love this, and I can't wait for next month. And I hope you enjoyed watching it. If you've got any questions or anything like that I can answer, I'm happy to answer. I promise you, Jack will have perfected his Blakey from On the Bus's impression by next month, and you'll be able to see it. I don't know if we can put a little tash on him. I think that's a bit, you know, but we'll see. But take care, and I'll see you next time.